Okay, well, definitely proud of our football team today. It was a good team win. It took all 4 quarters and a lot of different things to come up to pull off the victory. We were definitely tested, and it was a back-and-forth game and a lot of momentum swings. But we hung in there like we were able to do at some points last year and just play to the end, keep our confidence, keep our fight, not give in, and we just found a way to make more plays. So defense, while it wasn't perfect, had some big 4th-down stops, and of course the huge turnover. Special teams gave us the advantage. That was the key. A huge block punt return for a touchdown that really, basically, won the game and closed it for us. And then offense, couldn't run the ball real well, but made a few plays here and there, and it was just a tough conference game, and we found a way to win.
Jeff, last year obviously had a lot of close games this season, or today it seemed like it was the timely plays instead of the big plays. Is that just a cultural thing, culture kind of building as far as kind of coming up clutch, or do you feel like it's more personnel or a little bit of both?
I think it's both. I mean, we've got really good kids and coaches, and we talk about it all the time. I mean, when you play competitive football at a high level, you're not going to dominate the whole game. It's just not going to happen. Now, if you play a lesser opponent, you might. But when you play really good opponents, it's just not going to be that way. So you got to be able to hang in there and go back and forth. You got to try to play the perfect game, knowing it's not going to happen. And I just think our guys do that every day in practice. We compete hard against each other. Some days the defense will dominate us in a scrimmage. Other days we'll dominate them. That's kind of how it works when the talent level is very similar. But if you really believe in yourself and your team and what you're doing, you can find a way to win those games. And like I said, we have in the past, and of course we needed that today.
How much was this just a stick with it kind of game? You didn't have a ton of penalties, but I think 3 of them called back big offensive plays, and that's just kind of the way it goes. And then defense had a really good second half. How much was this just resiliency? Well,
it was definitely that. Yes, the penalties hurt us. I think what we preach is if we do not turn the ball over, we've got the advantage. And throughout all that, we didn't turn it over. So we didn't give them points. And if you look at what they did, they played well, did some good things. They turned it over for a costly touchdown, and then they had a kick blocked. So I just think, man, you love to go out there and dominate and do great things, but when you get in conference schedules, when you're playing really good teams, you just got to find a way to win a football game, and we definitely had to do that today. And but many things to clean up, and we'll try to do the best job we can with that.
Jeff, defensively, you guys got some pressure on King in the first half, then it kind of dropped off and then picked up again in the 4th quarter. Was that more play calling scheme or just what Georgia Tech was doing, blocking you guys home? It
was a little both. I mean, we definitely wanted we're trying to heat him as much as we could. We knew that we had to do that some. A couple of times when he scrambles and creates a lane, when you do that, then you're like, my gosh, do I really want to do that again? So that's the tough part is he can run and he can scramble, and he hurt us on some of those. But in the end, we had to keep being aggressive, and it got us in the backfield. It's hard to just get a 4-man rush all the time, but we heated some things up. We mixed some things up. We gave up some big plays, but I do think we played to the end, so I was proud of our defense.
As much as the transfer portal has transformed the game, and here as much as anywhere, do you find that there's a difficulty getting the continuity you would like at this stage of the season, and how have you adjusted knowing that?
Well, the transfer portal is here, and whether everyone loves it or not, it's kind of part of college football now. So you have to adapt and you have to adjust. And for us, we are going to utilize any chance to get our team better if we can. We feel like that we're the type of coaches and we have the type of atmosphere here that if anybody wants to come try to achieve their goals, we're going to help them do it. And whether they just got here, whether they've been here, our team knows that we're going to bring in the best teammates we can to help them win. We're going to be as fair as we can and play the best players. And, of course, if you're ready to play, we're going to get you in as well. And with injuries, we had some today and we had some last week. At some point, you're going to play. So they just got to trust us. But we don't shy away from the portal. We're open. Obviously, we want to get the right fit. We want to get somebody that really wants to be here and make a difference. And I think we've been even though we've been active, we've been selective, and we're open to it. And I just think that's a part of it now, and you adapt and adjust. But we embrace it.
Well, I guess what I was trying to get at is the idea that when you have this many players, new players that you're depending on, how does that, do you suffer in terms of continuity?
Well, and here's what, you could, for us, that can happen. We, through the spring, through the summer, through even our vacation, through fall camp, we're working. We're working with these guys, and we're speeding up that process. And it's not a normal college football where you take a break in the offseason. Our offseason is active with these guys to make sure they're getting ready, and we're going to spend as much time as they want to do that. And whether they want to get here at 6 or stay to midnight, obviously we want to abide all the rules, but we will work with our guys to help them get better. And you have to utilize those off seasons, or yes, it will not be successful.
Jeff, how would you attribute some of the things you mentioned you have to clean up? I think like midway through the fourth quarter, you had to take a timeout because the personnel wasn't right defensively, somebody wasn't out on the field, and some of the penalties, those kind of situations early. How much of that was just kind of being out of rhythm from maybe not playing on this week?
Well, I tell you what, I think the weather affected us. We had some guys cramp up, we had some guys drop out, we had some guys get injured, and we didn't communicate as well as we should have to get guys in there. That happened a few times. We had a couple calls where we thought we had the right personnel, and then we adjusted it and we tried to get somebody else in there, and the person wasn't standing next to us. So that's on us. We need to do a better job of that. At that point, I didn't want them to get a cheap play, so we took a couple timeouts, even though we may have got somebody out there in time, but it would have been close. So yes, there's some things to clean up there, and we need to make sure we get better at having our substitution and our next set of guys right next to us on the sideline. And we need to be able to do a better job upstairs of counting 11, making sure all are ready to go. Because a couple times it shouldn't have happened. I think it was the first play of the drive, and we got to be better than that.
Jeff, what do you think about the job your defense did, especially in the second half when Georgia Tech kind of dominated time of possession there? They didn't seem to tie it around. They were pretty stout when it came to the short yardage situations kind of going the next day.
Well, believe it or not, just in my head coaching past, we've been pretty good at short yardage situations now, probably because we're very aggressive in that scenario, and we kind of sell out, and it doesn't always work, but I'm very confident in our short yardage defense, and you've got to be aggressive, and but you got to also know, okay, if they're going to, do a little play action, you got to be in position as well. So that's the tough part of it. But sometimes you got to stop the run, you got to stop the quarterback, and you got to get a lot of guys coming at them to do it. And even other teams, when they do it to us, it's tough to run. You see us in short yardage situations. We pass the ball quite a bit because these people are selling out, and against good teams, you're going to get knocked back, and you're not going to get many yards. So I just think we've been pretty good at that. Obviously, people will probably game plan us and catch on, but we definitely stood up in third and fourth and short today. That really helped us.
Jeff, it seems the consensus of Cards fans leading into this week was get through Georgia Tech so you can go 3-0 at Notre Dame. Now we have that situation. I guess with this week coming up, what can you clean up? What can your squad clean up as you go to South Bend for your first road game?
A lot to clean up without question. I think defense, of course, getting a sound plan and making sure we're not giving up, big plays, while also being aggressive and getting after the quarterback. And you've got to make the quarterback feel uncomfortable. Obviously, giving up quarterback runs, this guy was a good runner, but we don't want to give him yards. And so we need to do a better job at that. And then I think offensively, we weren't able to run the ball as effectively today. We did miss Maurice and his experience. And there just wasn't as many holes. So we had to kind of be a little bit better throwing the ball. And I don't think we had many plays because of their long drives and fourth down stops and turnovers and block kicks. We didn't get the ball as much, and we had a safety, which was disappointing. But we got to just execute better. But I do think that our playmakers need to just show up every game and be difference makers, which those guys did for the most part. And we just got to get more efficient and more sound. And we'll be tested this next week. It's a really talented football team. I didn't see the game this week, of course, but last week they dominated. I watched the whole tape already. We'll have our hands full. They're really good on defense. They're fast. They're aggressive. They're strong. And on offense, they're going to run the ball at you and pound it at you.
You mentioned Maurice, like he was wearing a boot, crutches. What's his situation? And then I think Quincy kind of was out a little bit toward the end. So can you update on those two players?
Maurice, unfortunately, had a high ankle that we had to help to get back. When he'll be back, I don't know. I'd rather not say it quite yet. Quincy, I think will be back. I don't think it's anything long term, but we had Jalen got hurt on the sideline at the end, which we don't want to lose him. He's a steady player I'll look at it when I leave here and see where we're at, but we'll have probably a few new pieces that have to be ready for this next week.
Jeff, is the field goal block, is that something you see going into this game that could be possible? I mean, I know it's a longer field goal, might be lower, the kids just make a play.
You know what, we do work hard at special teams, and I'm not saying we have anything special call, but we are aggressive in attacking field goals, and we will put as many guys up there as we can without giving up a fake, and we will come at it. And if the snap's not on time and it takes them a little longer, if we can get some push and get around the edge, we can create some havoc. So I couldn't tell if it was a low kick or if it was slow, but we got in there, and then I ain't gonna lie, I mean, we had some luck go our way to bounce right up into us. I didn't think he saw the ball bounce. It bounced right up to him. He took it for a touchdown. So it was a huge play for us. They had the momentum at that point, and that really put a dagger in that momentum they had.
Good call.